Imagine a secret order, so feared that their very name was whispered with a chilling blend of dread and awe across continents. Imagine them wielding daggers not merely as weapons, but as extensions of their will, striking from the deepest shadows to alter the very course of empires. Imagine 40 assassins armed with nothing more than their blades and an unshakable resolve, capable of toppling a mighty sultan, a ruler whose power was absolute, whose armies were vast, and whose fortresses were seemingly impregnable. But could such a feat truly be possible? Or is this merely the stuff of legend? A tale spun from the very fabric of fear itself, a chilling myth designed to amplify a reputation already as sharp as any Damascus steel. Welcome, then, to a journey into the heart of one of history's most enigmatic and formidable organizations, the Hashshashin. For centuries, their name has echoed through the annals of time, a byword for clandestine operations, political intrigue, and a level of deadly precision that still captivates and unnerves us today. Emerging from the turbulent, fractured landscape of the medieval Middle East, this Nizari Ismailis sect carved a unique niche for itself, not through overt military conquest or the thunder of charging cavalry, but through the silent, devastating efficiency of targeted, often audacious assassinations. They were, in essence, masters of psychological warfare, their very reputation preceding them like an unstoppable, unseen force, sowing seeds of terror and uncertainty long before their blades were ever unsheathed. The Hashshashin, a name often translated and popularized as assassins, were far more than just mere hired killers, a common misconception that has persisted through popular culture. They were a highly disciplined, ideologically driven cadre, deeply devoted to their cause and their imam, operating from formidable mountain strongholds, the most famous and perhaps mythical being Alamant, often referred to as the Eagle's Nest. Their training was legendary as their exploits, encompassing not only exceptional martial prowess and the mastery of disguise, allowing them to infiltrate any social stratum, but also a profound understanding of politics, pharmacology, the subtle art of poisons, and perhaps most potent of all, the intricate workings of the human psyche. They understood with chilling clarity that fear was a weapon as formidable, if not more so, than any tempered steel. And their meticulously planned operations were designed to maximize this psychological impact, striking at the heart of their enemy's confidence and stability. Their operatives were not merely soldiers or spies, they were highly skilled infiltrators, often posing as merchants, scholars, or even religious pilgrims, seamlessly melting into the fabric of society to gather intelligence and await their opportune moment. The legends paint a picture of a rigorous indoctrination process, a deep spiritual and psychological conditioning that instilled an almost fanatical devotion and an utter disregard for personal safety. This unwavering commitment, coupled with their formidable skills, made them a force unlike any other in the medieval world. These were men, and sometimes women, trained from a young age to be instruments of their cause, their loyalty absolute, their discipline ironclad. They were taught to view death not as an end, but as a transition, a reward for service, a concept that stripped away the primal fear of mortality and made them incredibly formidable on any mission. Their indoctrination was said to be so profound that they would obey any command, face any danger, and endure any hardship without question or hesitation. This meticulous preparation, this deep psychological conditioning, was the bedrock of their terrifying effectiveness. The historical accounts, though often fragmented and filtered through the biases of their adversaries, consistently highlight a level of dedication and discipline that verged on the fanatical, a willingness to sacrifice everything for the mission and the cause. Central to their enduring mystique, and indeed to the very foundation of many of the legends that have cemented their place in history, is the alleged mission involving a sultan and precisely 40 daggers. The precise details of this legendary operation are, as one might expect,
shrouded in the mists of time, often recounted in fragmented tales, oral traditions, and later heavily embellished historical narratives. It is a story that speaks of an infiltration so deep, an execution so flawless, that it seems to transcend the bounds of mere human capability, bordering on the supernatural. The sheer audacity of such a mission, targeting a ruler in his heavily guarded domain with such a specific, symbolic number of operatives, ignites the imagination and poses a fundamental question. How much of this captivating account is verifiable historical fact? And how much is the sensational embellishment of fear, political maneuvering, and the natural amplification of a reputation already as sharp as any tempered steel? Could 40 individuals, armed with nothing but their courage, their skill, and their daggers, truly achieve the impossible against a ruler protected by countless guards, thick castle walls, and the formidable apparatus of state power? This narrative, if true, would represent an unparalleled demonstration of strategic brilliance and operational perfection, a testament to their mastery of clandestine warfare. Consider the implications. A leader, believing himself to be untouchable, falling victim to a meticulously planned infiltration, a silent strike that would resonate through the very foundations of his power. The symbolism of the 40 daggers themselves adds another layer, suggesting a coordinated effort, a unified will, a force that acted as one even when dispersed. It's a powerful image, a potent narrative that has endured for centuries, a cornerstone of the Hashshashin mythos. Could a group so small, relying not on overwhelming force but on meticulous planning and psychological terror, truly dictate the fate of empires?
This is precisely the core of our inquiry, the fundamental question that drives this exploration. History itself is a vast and complex tapestry, woven with both verifiable, irrefutable events and the often slippery threads of interpretation, myth, cultural biases, and sometimes deliberate misinformation or propaganda. The Hashshashin, perhaps more than most figures or organizations in the medieval period, have become subjects of this historical alchemy, their deeds magnified, distorted, and retold across generations until the line between stark reality and sensational myth becomes almost indistinguishable. Our quest, therefore, is to meticulously peel back these layers of legend, to sift through the often contradictory accounts, and to endeavor to uncover the historical truth that lies, often deeply buried, beneath the sensational stories that have been crafted around them. It is a task that requires a critical eye, a willingness to challenge deeply ingrained narratives, and an appreciation for the subtle, often indirect ways in which history is written and remembered. We must ask, were the Hashshashin merely very effective assassins operating within the brutal realities of their time, or were they something more? A force that, through their reputation alone, wielded influence over the minds and actions of rulers and empires. What does it mean when a story becomes so powerful, so ingrained in collective memory, that its truth becomes secondary to its impact? This is the essence of historical investigation, not just to find facts, but to understand how narratives are constructed and why they persist. Examining the Hashshashin means grappling with the very nature of historical evidence and the enduring power of narrative in shaping our understanding of the past. The world in which the Hashshashin operated was one of constant flux and often brutal power struggles, a volatile melting pot of competing ideologies and ambitions. The Crusades raged across the Holy Land, the Byzantine Empire teetered on the brink of collapse, and various caliphates and sultanates vigorously vied for dominance across a vast, strategically important swath of territory.
In such a volatile and precarious environment, decisive, unexpected actions could have profound and far-reaching consequences, capable of shifting the delicate balance of power overnight. Assassination, as a political tool, was by no means an unheard-of tactic in medieval times, but the Hashshashin elevated it to an art form, a strategic instrument that allowed a relatively small, ideologically driven group to wield influence and exert power far beyond their actual numbers or conventional military strength. Their chosen targets were often the most powerful and influential figures of the age. Influential viziers, ambitious emirs, even ruling sultans themselves, whose sudden removal could destabilize entire regions, disrupt critical military campaigns, or fundamentally alter the political landscape. The very act of targeting a leader was often a statement, designed not just to eliminate an individual, but to send a clear, terrifying message to all who might oppose the Hashshashin or their allies. The political landscape was a treacherous terrain where a single, well-placed death could trigger cascades of alliances, betrayals, and wars. The Hashshashin, with their unique skill set and their commitment to their cause, became indispensable, or at least incredibly dangerous players in this intricate game of thrones. Their ability to operate with such secrecy and precision made them a constant, unpredictable variable, a shadow that could fall upon any court, any camp, any leader. Consider the political ramifications. A key minister removed just before a crucial treaty signing. A general assassinated on the eve of a major offensive. A ruler silenced before they could consolidate power. These were not acts of random violence. They were calculated strikes designed to achieve specific political outcomes, to manipulate the very levers of power from the unseen depths of their net.
Consider the specific environment. A medieval world where information traveled slowly, often distorted and filtered through layers of rumor and personal interpretation, and where the perceived power of an enemy could be as significant, if not more so, than their actual military strength on the battlefield. The Hashshashin expertly cultivated this perception of invincibility and omnipotence. They were said to be able to blend in seamlessly anywhere, to be utterly fearless in the face of death, and to achieve the seemingly impossible with unnerving regularity. This reputation alone made them a formidable force, compelling rulers to constantly look over their shoulders, to invest heavily in personal security measures, and perhaps most importantly, to even make significant political concessions purely out of fear of what the assassins might orchestrate next. This mastery of psychological manipulation was as crucial to their success as their combat skills. They understood that a reputation for ruthlessness and unparalleled effectiveness was a weapon that could achieve objectives even before a single blade was drawn. Imagine the psychological toll on a sultan, constantly aware that an unseen enemy might be lurking, their movements tracked, their vulnerabilities catalogued, all by an organization that seemed to defy the very laws of human limitations. This cultivated fear was their greatest asset, a silent army that preceded their physical presence. How much of their power was rooted in their actual capabilities, and how much in the sheer, unadulterated terror they inspired? It's a question that continues to perplex historians and captivate our imaginations. The very concept of an unseen enemy, capable of breaching any defense, infiltrating any fortress, and strike down the most powerful figures with such terrifying precision, was a potent destabilizing agent in a world already fraught with internal strife and external threats. The potent legend of the 40 Daggers is, in itself, a powerful symbol of this carefully cultivated reputation. It evokes a vivid picture of a perfectly coordinated, silent, and deadly ballet, performed with chilling precision in the very heart of an enemy stronghold, a feat that would have resonated with deep psychological impact.
Was it truly 40 individual assassins, each with a specific, preordained role in the execution of the plot? Was it a metaphorical number, signifying an overwhelming, unseen, and therefore more terrifying force? Or was the entire account an apocryphal tale, meticulously crafted and disseminated to instill maximum terror and awe, a testament to the Hashshashin's unparalleled mastery of psychological warfare and their ability to weaponize fear itself? Think about it. If you were a ruler in that era, how would you respond to rumors of an order that could bypass any security, infiltrate any fortress, and strike down the most powerful figures with such terrifying precision? The psychological toll would be immense, forcing constant vigilance and a pervasive sense of vulnerability. This story, whether fact or fiction, perfectly encapsulates that feeling. The specific mention of 40 daggers also speaks to a certain theatricality, a flair for the dramatic that would have amplified their legend. It's a detail that lodges itself in the mind, making the tale more vivid and consequently more terrifying. It suggests not just a killing, but an event, a carefully orchestrated spectacle of destruction. This narrative power is a crucial element in understanding their historical impact, regardless of the literal truth of this specific, sensational account. It's the narrative, the story, that truly wielded power.
This is not merely about unraveling a single purported event. It is about understanding the broader context of a movement that genuinely shaped the medieval world in ways that are often underestimated. The Hashshashin's influence extended far beyond the immediate impact of their individual actions. They played a significant, albeit often covert role in the complex and often brutal relationships between the Seljuk Turks, the encroaching Crusader states, and the various fractured Muslim powers of the era. Their targeted assassinations could strategically disrupt campaigns, prevent crucial alliances from forming, or even subtly influence royal succession, thereby manipulating the geopolitical chessboard from the shadows. They were, in essence, a medieval special forces unit, employing methods that were as terrifyingly effective as they were deeply mysterious and shrouded in secrecy. Their impact was felt not just in the lives they extinguished, but in the political decisions they influenced and the conflicts they subtly steered through calculated acts of violence and intimidation. Historians debate the extent of their direct involvement in many events, but the sheer fear they instilled, the constant threat they represented, undeniably altered the calculations of rulers across the region. They were a destabilizing force, yes, but a destabilizing force that could be directed, a tool used by those who understood its terrifying potential. Their strategic use of assassination as a political lever offered a potent alternative to the costly and often indecisive battles waged by conventional armies. This made them an invaluable, if terrifying, asset in the highly unstable political landscape of the time. The narratives that surround them, passed down through oral traditions and later written accounts, often speak of the Hashshashin receiving their rigorous training in hidden mountain fortresses, of their supposed use of hashish to achieve altered states of consciousness and enhance their courage, a practice heavily debated and often debunked by modern historians, and of their absolute, unwavering loyalty to their Grand Master, the leader of their formidable order. While some of these specific elements have been heavily scrutinized and often dismissed by historians as sensational embellishments, they undeniably contribute to the enduring, almost mythical image of the Hashshashin as near supernatural figures, agents of destiny capable of feats beyond normal human comprehension. They have become the shadowy protagonists of countless historical dramas, the unseen hand that moves, unseen and unhindered, across the grand chessboard of history. The romanticized image of the Hashshashin, a product of both Orientalist fascination and genuine fear, has often overshadowed the more nuanced historical reality, creating a legend that is perhaps more powerful than the historical facts themselves. The story of their training, their perceived devotion, and their supposed mystical abilities all served to build an aura of invincibility that was in itself a powerful weapon. This perceived supernatural element, whether true or fabricated, was instrumental in their success, allowing their reputation to precede them and instill fear even before any direct action was taken. The very idea of the 40 daggers is itself a powerful narrative hook, a detail that makes the story instantly memorable and inherently intriguing. It's a precise number, suggesting a meticulously planned and executed operation, rather than a random act of violence. Imagine the scene, reconstructed through the lens of historical possibility. The hushed whispers of conspirators, the careful, patient observation of their target, the stealthy infiltration through guarded passages and shadowy corridors, culminating in the final, swift, and silent execution. It's a dramatic scenario that has captivated imaginations for centuries, fueling countless books, films, historical discussions, and academic debates.
But as we delve deeper into the heart of this legend, we must constantly ask ourselves, can we truly trust these sensational accounts? Or are we perhaps being led down a well-worn path of sensationalism, where the objective historical truth has been irrevocably obscured by the sheer, overwhelming power of a well-told, fear-inducing story? The allure of the impossible, when presented as fact, is incredibly potent, but it is precisely our duty to dissect it with the tools of historical inquiry. How can we approach the claims of such a secretive group when so much of what we know is filtered through the accounts of their enemies or later romanticizers? This fundamental challenge forms the crux of our investigation. What if the entire legend was designed to serve a purpose, to project an image of absolute power and reach? The Hashshashin's enduring legacy is a profound testament to the lasting power of reputation, meticulously built and fiercely maintained, and the undeniable effectiveness of focused, clandestine action in shaping historical events. Their story challenges us, compelling us to look beyond the surface of dramatic tales, to question the narratives we are so readily told, and to diligently seek out the historical evidence, however elusive, fragmented, or contradictory it may be. The legendary 40 Daggers operation, whether it stands as a testament to astonishing historical fact or a cleverly crafted legendary embellishment, serves as a potent and enduring symbol of their immense influence and their unparalleled ability to inspire both profound fear and deep, abiding fascination. They remind us that in the grand theater of history, perception can often be as powerful as reality, and that the most effective weapons are sometimes the ones wielded not on the battlefield, but within the human mind itself. Their story is a testament to the fact that even a whisper of their name could be enough to sow disarray and topple thrones. It is a legacy woven from threads of courage, skill, ideological fervor, and crucially, the masterful manipulation of fear and perception. Their impact was not just in the lives they took, but in the minds they terrorized and the political decisions they influenced through the sheer force of their terrifying reputation. The ability to project an image of invincibility was, in itself, a powerful strategic advantage in the complex political arena of the medieval era.
The story of the Hashshashin is a stark, powerful reminder that history is often far stranger, more complex, and indeed more terrifying than the most imaginative fiction. If you are as fascinated as we are by these journeys into the past, where the delicate line between legend and undeniable truth is constantly blurred, then make sure you are subscribed to this channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the shadows of history, where we uncover the real stories behind the myths. Now, let us turn our focused attention to the very operation that, more than perhaps any other, cemented their fearsome place in legend, the celebrated tale of the Sultan and his mysterious 40 daggers. Was this indeed the ultimate demonstration of the Hashshashin's fabled prowess, a flawlessly executed mission that irrevocably changed the course of historical events? Or was it a cleverly crafted myth, a powerful propaganda tool designed to amplify their already formidable reputation for deadly efficacy? The answer, as we shall now meticulously explore, lies not in accepting the legends at face value, but in the careful, critical examination of available historical records, the rigorous dissection of often contradictory eyewitness accounts, and a deep understanding of how fear itself can be consciously wielded as a potent weapon of history. This is precisely where the real mystery begins, where we attempt to separate the undeniable historical impact and influence of the Hashshashin from the fantastical, sensational tales that have grown like ivy around their formidable legacy. Join us as we investigate whether the legend of the 40 daggers is a true testament to astonishing historical fact, or a chilling, enduring embodiment of the power of fear and reputation in shaping the course of human events. The truth, as it so often does, is waiting patiently to be uncovered, and the implications of what we find could redefine our understanding of medieval power dynamics.